Okay, let's do this. First time. Netflix's original series, Stranger Things. Now, I'll empezar con the fact that I honestly didn't want to watch it, because whenever I see something that's so mainstream and everybody says, have you seen it, have you seen it, have you seen it, have you seen it, I tend to kind of shy away from it because I'm expecting it not to be so great. And I don't pay much attention to those things because, bueno, once again, I don't have everybody's likings, maybe. You know, sometimes I might be too dark, or if I write the rest said something stupid, I find it funny. So I don't know. I don't think the same way most people do. But this time I said, oh well, fine. I'll watch this thing. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's not groundbreakingly amazing, tampoco. I know there's someone always out there like, well, it's not like Game of Thrones, or it's not like MASH, it's not like Seinfeld, it's not like Friends. It's not. There's always somebody who's going to say that. And honestly, you know, you had your time. I'm a fan of all those things I basically said. But Stranger Things has something different. It's a different story. It's got sci-fi, it's got thriller, it's got mystery, it's got comedy, it's got drama, it's got romance, it's got that like teen thing going on. So you're like a kid again, you're in middle school all over again. You're left with like 1,000 questions every episode. You're like, I can't believe this happened. What's this going on? What's that going here? And I think what I love the most about the show is not the story behind it. So I'm not going to really spoil much here, but what I love about the show is the characters, because the kids are the characters, and that's really hard to find. It's really hard to find a show where kids are the main focus, are the protagonists of the story, and it's not a kid's show. It's by far the furthest thing away from a kid's show. Each of those characters is so well developed, and I think they could easily do like a weird little spin-off, because each character had something that added to the series. The comedy factor, the moment where just like, oh, teen angst, or oh, he's the loner, oh, he's in love with her, oh, he's this, oh, he's that, and then those characters don't really have to evolve. You love them the way they are, because they're exactly how they were in episode 1. They're in the final episode, season 1. They're basically the same people. The only one who's changed much is 11. And 11, I think, is the second real reason, which is like a subtopic of my main reason why I love this show, is that it's a girl child. So it's a kid who's the protagonist. But the protagonist of the show is the group of kids. And I know we're going to have a discussion over, is it the kids? But I think it's the kids. But 11 is the protagonist. She's the protagonist. She's the main character. She's the kick-ass, badass mofo. She's the one that you're like, oh, she's so cute. She doesn't understand that. Oh, she's never been kissed. Oh, she doesn't know what this is. Oh, she doesn't know what that is. Like, and you have like 1,000 questions about her, but she's also like, watch your ass. This girl is going to levitate you and blow your brains out without having to do anything else. But she's so cool. And then surrounded by the other kids adds the piece to it. And I know we're going to talk about Dustin, and that might be later on, because Dustin is like, oh, Dustin can have his own TV show. But the kids are the main reason why this show is so awesome. And there's 80s stuff, and it's the fashion, and it's the slang, and it's what you see in the background, and it makes you feel like you're watching something back from the 80s, literally. Like, you feel like you're watching an old Spielberg movie, and not just like I forgot the name of but the one movie that everybody's talking about. That's it's like that one. No, it's the environment of the movie. It's like it's the movie. The TV show is like, it's gritty, it's weird, it's funky. You gotta love the sheriff. Number 2 favorite character, the sheriff. I love the sheriff. Number 3 favorite character, the middle school science teacher. This might be the coolest science teacher since Breaking Bad. I mean, this guy was able to make a sensory deprivation chamber in his mind and explain it to a group of 4 middle schoolers, and then they were able to carry it out with household items. This is the guy that the NSA, the CIA, the FBI, I don't know, like Q from like fucking James Bond should be calling this middle school science teacher and hiring him. Okay? Because that guy's amazing. And then my last thing is the music. The music is so amazing. It's like a separate character. And it's not songs. It's like the sound effects. It's the score. It's enticing you. It's thrilling. It's beautiful and it's there. And it's like a silent character.
Dude, now I feel awkward because I hated the show and I hated everything just mentioned. I mean, it was just stupid. No, I'm joking. It's probably the greatest thing I've seen this year so far. I did get into it with the hype. I got excited when people started talking about it. I read about it online. I got it the same day it came out. I saw it entirely, but it was only because of everything that was said before. I don't remember the articles I was reading, but it was there was this guy just describing it in a way that it felt like it was more of an experience than just watching something and just, following the story. It was more like something you were going to experience. And that's what's going to be that's my take on it. When I actually saw the whole thing from beginning to end, the only thing I could remember is the nostalgia. And it's not the nostalgia about the 80s and about feeling, like you said, like you mentioned Spielberg and you mentioned that it reminded you of a movie or reminded everybody of a movie. I'm thinking you're trying to remember the Goonies. Well, anyways, now my take on it is that it made me feel like when I used to play, and not play, video games, and not play poker, play is an imagination. It made me feel like those days when I used to go out and with a group of friends with my bike and just start, going around the neighborhood, having adventures, and in our mind, they were bigger than anything that was really going on. And that's what I got from it. I mean, I got so freaking happy when I saw those kids naming the streets because it was the roads to their adventures and playing Dungeons and Dragons, and it was being a kid like we used to be kids. It wasn't being a kid like today. Kids are trying to be like always stuck to a computer, to a screen somehow, and just talking by any type of social network, the social media. Sorry, what I'm saying is it was a throwback to a simpler, better time, and that's the one thing I enjoyed most from the show. Of course, everything you said, I agree with it completely, 100%. The characters are amazing. 11 is the protagonist. I have no arguments when it comes to that. Although all of the 3 kids on the show were pretty strong. You could argue that they all had their own kind of their arc going on, and I don't think they could go ahead and spin off each of them, but all of them as a group, all 3 of them were like a solid character, and they all played off her. So yeah, I love the show. I mean, it's basically the best thing I've seen in television this year. Of course, that's apart from DareDevil, but yeah. That's my opinion on it, bro. Oh, and I'm glad you mentioned the music because I have a question about that. Was all the music from the 80s? Because while I was watching, I heard some songs and I was kind of doubtful. I've been meaning to do the research on this, but I don't know. I'm thinking you already have the answer. So was all the music from the 80s, or did they just branch out and just use them as a way to set the scene?
Re-listening to my previous message and listening to yours, I go back to, I'm going to take it back. It's true. Like, the kids wouldn't get their own spin-off. I can imagine maybe Dustin getting some cheapy little spin-off como Joey from Friends when he had that shit show. But when you think about it, o sea, those kids, I can imagine them getting their own show separately. You know, Lucas, Mike, Will, and Dustin. And yeah, so I don't think we need to talk a lot about Dustin. Everybody loves Dustin. You might say that Mike seems like he's kind of like the protagonist, just because he seems to be kind of like the leader of the group. But my personal favorite is actually Lucas. And I like Lucas because he pissed the crap out of me throughout the most of it. I kept on thinking, like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you so annoying? Why are you so angry? What's wrong with this? She's just a girl. Stop trying to give her back to the feds. What's your problem? Until Dustin's like, hey, dude, he's just jealous. And I was like, oh, Lucas, you're just jealous that your best friend likes the girl. And then, again, como lo que tú dijiste, like, it was like a remembering how it used to be, like that one moment these kids are in middle school. Like, that's the time when you first like a girl, and you're, whoever's the first guy to like a girl, and something kind of starts happening, the rest of the guys are like, either like, cool, or really, bro, you're gonna leave us for a girl, man? That's low. Pero it was just a good show, man. Like, I loved it. It's so many genres, too many things around. When I did say a movie that I remembered, yeah, The Goonies is definitely one of them. Pero apart from The Goonies, it's like, you know, Close Encounters from the Third Kind, definitely another piece to it. I even felt like it was like an odd version of like The Wonder Years, like, but mixed with the X-Files. It was odd. I'm left with a lot of questions. I am hopeful that they take their time. You know, Netflix tends to do that. They take their time. They don't just throw something out right away. Everybody says that there's going to be a second season. It's not 100% confirmed yet. Y toda esa vaina. So it makes it understand that they're still thinking about it. Like, we know there's a second season. It was such a big hit, but they're going to take their time to actually answer people's questions, to make sure that things make sense. You know, what happened to Will? Why is Will like he is now? What are those weird flashes? Is he like shimmering in and out of this reality to the other reality, or is he just having like crazy psychotic breaks? You know, I was telling my wife Letty, you know, like when he threw up that big slug at the end, he wasn't even surprised. He was like, ah, crap, you know. And then he didn't freak out. He didn't say like, oh my God, I puked a giant slug. So how many of those things has he been puking out, man? Like, is this like Alien? Is this like how the aliens spawn? You know, he had that huge tube in his stomach. Does he have like 1,000 little eggs, and he's been like throwing them down the tubes, and then in a couple of weeks we're gonna have like the upside down, pero un viaje of those Gorgamon things, but in the sewers, or, you know, in the dams or in the forest. I mean, it's kind of crazy. And I don't know if I'm pretty cool that the sister, what was her name? Karen, I think, but whatever. Mike's sister stuck with Steve. I mean, Jonathan would have been too easy, but really, you stuck with that guy? I don't think he's that likable. I get it. He came back and he realized that he did some shitty things, but still. But you know what's really, really disturbing, apart from like what happened to Chief and who are those people and why did he get in the car and what's that waffle in the forest, and like nobody's freaking out that Jonathan took pictures of people at a party, and like, where were Lucas and Dustin's parents throughout all this? Seriously, like, where are these people? I mean, at least Lucas. I mean, you're an African American family in the mid '80s in Podunk, United States. I think you'd freak out if your only African American child that I've seen throughout the whole series disappears in the middle of the night. But apart from that, the one thing that really, really, really freaks me out from the writers and from this town is Nobody gave a crap about Nancy. Nobody. I mean, seriously. What's the story here? Did her parents really think she skipped town? Did the girl, like, make stuff up? I mean, this girl died. She's dead. Like, really dead. In the upside down. She's gone. And it was nasty. And they didn't bring her back. So did they tell her parents? Because the clipping said, boy miraculously comes back to life, but they don't talk about it. So are these people just cool with the fact that this other girl died and nobody gets to know? That's freaky. That's freaky. That's not cool. I mean, that poor girl, you know, with those weird pants and that ugly ass hairdo, terrible shirt, and horrible glasses. Apart from having that character go through all of that, also gets to die and nobody gives a shit. Uncool.
I've been listening and listening to your last message, just to hear the part, your rant about killing off the girl with the ugly pants. Oh man, that was just hilarious. But regarding that, I actually get why nobody really cared. I'll go into it later on. But there is something to be said about her. She was just a plot device. O sea, la única razón para esa jeva existir era poder poner a todo el mundo en tensión y a investigar a la hermana de Mike, a everybody. I mean, the people that weren't involved with the actual loss of the first kid or didn't really care, they had to find a way to make them care somehow. So basically just a plot device. I don't even think you're going to explain or touch on it later on at all. Now, the reason why I think this and most of your issues happened, with the sort of no parents oversight, the racial issue about being the only black kid and how he interacts with everybody, is because it is technically trying to be an 80s movie. And if you remember, back in the 80s, they didn't really touch on all this. Things just happened. There was no undertones where we're going to talk about racial issues, or we're going to talk about, we're going to have any parent oversight or anything to that nature. So it seemed kind of natural for the type of movie or for the type of show it was trying to be. It was just trying to be as much as an 80s movie as possible. Not as much as it was in the 80s. What I'm saying is as much as an 80s movies as possible. I mean, think about everything Ferris Bueller did or any other John Hughes movie. I mean, they were all teenagers going rampant. I mean, License to Drive is insane. He crashes the car at the end, a BMW, and the only thing that happens is he gets the girl, walks out, and just throws the keys when with the crappy line, like, no, I don't want the Beamer. I have a Mercedes. So that's kind of how the 80s were when it came to movies. So that kind of makes sense to me. Now, as for following up on on having another season, I'm sure they're going to have it, but still, I don't think it should be more than 2 or 3 seasons. Now, the reason is the show is very original, and it being as original as it is, it could be a little off-putting if you try to make it weirder and just to keep the audience interested and keep people coming back. So it might be a little off-putting if they try a little too hard, a little harder than they already did. So maybe trying the same formula again with a little few twists once or twice will keep people coming back. That's my take on it, at least. And mystery is a big part of the whole thing. So I don't think they're going to explain much. I mean, a lot of the things of the unanswered questions, I just think they're going to stay unanswered because it's their way of providing the right amount of mystery. At least, that's kind of how I took it in. Now, you did mention something about it being weird Wonder Years meets the X-Files. That was That was dead on. My the way I saw it, I mean, I actually had a conversation about this before we talked about it, and it was I was imagining how they would pitch it to Netflix, and my answer was, well, they probably want something like it's Stand By Me meets Poltergeist, but definitely Wonder Years meets X-Files takes it. Now, let me see. What else did you mention that I wanted to comment on? Oh, yeah. You know, going back to the characters, the whole Dustin thing, what I do think they can do with Dustin is not of course, never a spinoff, and no spinoffs could probably be done with any of the characters, but most definitely they could do is change the focus of the whole show. I mean, it was focused on one kid at the first season. Maybe next season it will be focused on Dustin and his family, and have it be like all the weirdness that must be going on in that house for that kid to be the way he is. Now that would be an excellent second season. Have stuff happen to him or around him, being kind of the center of what's going on, while having another character, maybe 11, come back, still be the protagonist, but just have everything be around Dustin and Dustin's family. Now that would actually be my pitch for a second season. So, well, there's that.
So Stranger Things in general, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I definitely loved it, but I don't think I love it enough for it to become my new safe word. I'm going to be stingy and say that for maybe really, really, really excessively special things that I love, and maybe only I can love as much as I love. So yeah, 4 out of 5. It's a great show, cool thing. It's sci-fi, it's family, it's fun, it's kids, it's hilarious, it's dramatic, it's a thriller, it's a horror, it's a little bit of everything. The music is awesome, the scenery is awesome, the cinematography is great, the kids' lines are wonderful, made me want to play Dungeons and Dragons all over again, whip out my magic cards. It's definitely a good show. I agree with you. 2 more seasons, and that's it. More than that, they'll probably screw it up. If they keep this up, it might be a 5 when it's over.
Oh, yeah, definitely. 5s are only reserved for very special things. Those things that bring you so much joy you fart rainbows. So, no, it's not a 5. Definitely not a 5. Now, I'm going to go a little bit lower than you. I'm going to go for maybe a 3.8 because it was really good. I loved it. Well, you've heard all my messages before. It's still not a 4 because for me a 4 is something I'm going to be talking about for years and years and years to come. And if they don't have a second season, we probably won't even remember Stranger Things by this time next year. So it's a 3.8. You know what? I'll bump it up to a 3.9. Just because of a great original way of doing television. The characters were so much fun. No acting really stood out for me, except maybe for 11. So, it gets less points for that. And, well, overall, the feeling about it, how I felt about it was worth the 3.9. That's why I bumped it up, 0.1. So, yeah. That's what we think about Strange Things. Now, let us know what you think. Maybe down in the comments. I'll leave our Twitter accounts or maybe an email. I don't know yet. So I'll leave some way for you to get in touch with us. Let us know what you think. We'll reply if we can. And yeah, thank you for listening.
Something is coming. Something hungry for blood. What is it? The Demogorgon!